Just with a little bit of side to avoid the cue ball hitting too far as we look to the left into the bunch. It makes the shot difficult. He's gone up to the bolt climb, which is not a bad effort. Come in handy, the green where it is. Certainly with regards to getting some cueing into a red to the right corner. She can get to the red on the left, but it's twice as difficult a pot, I would think. Wang Yi is she's a good safety player, good tactician. She uses a lot of side. And I think the one thing I would say is that on these tables, she'll probably, the more she plays on these star tables with their super fine class, probably, I think the less she's likely to resort to putting lots of side on. It's very difficult to do on these tables. The leading male players, well, hardly ever use lorry-loaded side to play shots. It's kind of what's much easier to do on club tables and sort of worn cloths, I would say. No doubt Wang Yi plays on many of these sort of tables, but that's super fine here in Perth. Players have been saying how well they've been playing these tables. Never a nice, almost a death rattle off from the other table. Someone's miscued and the ball's ended up on the floor. That's what happens in the billiard hall quite a lot. It's never a nice sound. Yeah, it's a good shot. That's the kind of chances she needs to take to allow her to get in, and she needs that cue ball to slow down. Yep, she's okay, not only on the black, the shot to get from black to red.
Eight. Nine.
Puts a shot on the black. She's not finished perfectly on the red, but she has recovered the situation. This is a shot that is missable. Yes, I have to say she wasn't quite straight enough. She'll need to stop missing chances like that against Reanne. And this is a good chance to get a few points on the board here.
1.
It's not an easy shot to get from pink to the next red. Pink being so near the jaws of the pocket, she's got to get out of that little corner. She didn't play a very good shot on the red to finish, hampered by the red that she's close to. Yeah, she lost control. The opening shot was not a good one. Now this will test her. Red down the cushion. Pocket's not easy.
7.
She's probably got to play it because she'll be on the black. Oh, that's a beauty. That is a beauty. At that sort of speed.
$15. 16.
She's screwing to the pink. Stay for the red. Well, that's what she tried, and she has got a backup shot.
23.
She's not on the red perfectly, but she has a red. Well, I'm guessing she has a red to the right corner. Can't believe they all block each other off. No, once she's further up the table, that will go, and so will the one below it.
Reanne, 23.
Well, that was not an easy shot, and the little cannon had gone wrong the shot before on the black.
One.
This was the one she's worried about, not only the pot but the red that she was going to hit. She could never get right behind the black, but of course it became a little bit of a distraction. It's a bad misjudgment. She's slightly rattled, I think,
Only
on
one.
Yi. I know she's usually extremely solid and dependable. She very rarely misses easy pots. But she's missed a pink off its spot and a black off its spot here in this frame into that same pocket. And that is not going to be good enough to beat someone who scores as heavily as Reanne Evans. Double kiss is not what she wanted. Looking to get in behind the yellow here. Not speedy enough that time. Kind of shot, maybe concentrate on bouncing it off the vault cushion. That means you're never going to finish short. If you do overhit, you're not going to overhit by very much. I think she's taking a go at this. Has she got away with it? To a degree, yes.
One.
Well, I think she deserves that. She deserves to be on the pink there. It's a good, dangerous pot, sort of shot that she missed. She was leaving on the in amongst them. And she got a little bit lucky, but I think it's deserved. Chance to finish this frame off quickly here.
Seven. Eight.
38 points to lead. Done with a little bit more pace on that. Still on the red, comfortably enough. Yeah, she could have done with finishing the frame off there. Like I say, she was balls a bit short of where she really wanted to be. I think where she needs to be quite watchful against On Yi is that closing out these frames, because On Yi, as I say, to me is the female Selby of the game, where she'll not concede frames, she won't give up, she'll keep battling away, and she can bring a more attacking player's rhythm, I think, down a little. So you've got to win these frames as quickly as possible and put your opponent, someone like On Yi, in trouble. At the moment, though, On Yi is giving lots of chances back. Here's another one, another chance to win the frame. Red, high value colour. Pink or black. That'll be enough.
One.
Pink to the middle with the red on. This goes in, it's 2-0. Well, I think this scoreline is not flattering, it's absolutely right. Reanne has been head and shoulders the best player of the two, although she isn't the world champion. On Yi is.
8.
She's won it twice in the last 3 years, lady from Hong Kong. And 10 years before in a row, leading up to that, Reanne Evans absolutely dominated the ladies' game. She was undefeated.
15.
Very long period, including, like I said earlier, when 2007, when she was 7.5 months pregnant, she was able
16.
to win the ladies' championship. Such was the stranglehold she had on the game.
Reanne Evans, 16. In the frame.
He has conceded the frame, and it's a very good start for Reanne Evans against her biggest rival in the ladies' game. She leads On Yi of Hong Kong 2-0 in this best of 7 frame final.
frame 3, only to break.
Here we go with frame 3. On Yi of Hong Kong, the world champion, currently 2-0 down to former 11 times ladies world champion Reanne Evans. In this best of 7 frame final of the Pool Hunter Ladies Classic. Here we are in Firth, Northern Bavaria, for the Pool Hunter Classic and the Ladies Classic. As I was saying earlier, the scoreline is absolutely bang on from what I've seen. Reanne has been by far the more dangerous of the two players in amongst them so far. Things, of course, can change. Well, safety shot, that one. Unlucky, that was good cueing. It's the kind of shot, if you do miss it, you want to get in close enough to it for the cue ball to do what you wanted it to do, otherwise it come back up the table. If you miss it by a mile, the cue ball could go anywhere.
One.
She's away again here, nice little flick on the green there.
Four.
She probably played on the red to the left. Having said that, if the black goes to the left corner, she's now on the better option of a red, I think. She's a good player left-handed, and she can play this next shot left-handed. Doesn't look massively comfortable on the shot, does she? Well, she's done it well enough, and so she is good left-handed.
Five.
He looks exactly the same as well. You know, it looks the equivalent left-handed as right. I'm sure that's not the case. Even though Sullivan is not as good left-handed as right, although he's very good. They both look apart.
Ten.
A bit unlucky. There wasn't
11.
really a way back up the table there, I don't think, whichever way she played it.
Yellow ball. Reanne Evans, 11.
So I guess that had to go in, that red. Not an easy start for Onyi with a hand on the cushion rail, but there's something to go at least. Which isn't too many things at the start of a frame. Too many chances. But this is one.
One. Six. Seven. Twelve. Thirteen.
Good queuing, dead straight queuing. Only one or two perhaps open reds now, the one near the pocket and the one below the pink. So again, it's not a certainty that Onyi's going to make a big break here, but chance to accumulate a few points, see where it takes her. Not sure if the red that's just to above and to the left of the black, whether that pops to the left corner, whether she can see enough of the red.
19.
If she could, that would be a possible level. Didn't expect that. I don't know whether she was trying to swing the cue wide and use the pocket or what. But
Only 19.
she'll be most disappointed to have missed that one. So, with the score 2-0 to Reanne Evans, I'm joined by Matt Hewitt, who's alongside me. Matt, good afternoon. Good start for Reanne. I don't think you've had. I think you've been working behind the scenes on this. You probably haven't seen too much of what's happened, have you?
That's right, Neil. Yeah.
Yes, I can tell you that in the first frame, Reanne made a 59 break, which actually could have been a lot more. She missed the black off the spot and won it fairly comfortably. Second frame, she scored again too heavily. Excuse me, for Onyi, who has not, she's been a bit tentative. She missed an easy pink and easy black in the previous frame. And to be honest, it's been fairly one-way traffic so far.
Thank you for that, Neil. Yes, really been looking forward to this final. But the thing with On Yi, we watched her recently at the World Games in Poland. She completed. She struggled early on. She played Michael Judge, who went 2-0 down. But as the match goes on, she tends to settle down a bit. Perhaps the same will happen today.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Obviously, I was saying to you yesterday, I watched the semi-finals, and I just feel that Reanne plays snooker in a more attacking way, and she always has done. But I think On Yi she reminds me, to me, she's almost the female Selby. I'm saying that. She doesn't give frames up. She's tactically pretty good, and she doesn't mind how long it takes either to go and win a match.
I think that's exactly the comparison I would generally make. The amount of time she's 2-1 down, 3-1 down on the ladies' tour, and she will come back, win a decider, as she did last night. She found herself 3-2 down against Sir Yan, and made a big break in the decider again. It's trademark her, really. So, yeah, male or female, I believe she's one of the strongest players mentally that I've seen. But as you say, Reanne is fantastic when she's in the bowls.
Yeah, and as I say, it's been quite one-sided this match so far, actually. And the mistake you've just seen there, Reanne has already shown us what a good player she is, left-handed, and she's going to attempt to do so again here. This is one that time. I think with Reanne, as I said before, it's pretty obvious that the stranglehold she had on the game for so many years. Obviously, there's no ladies tournament in 2004, was there? But she won it for the next 10 years in a row. And in some ways, she had it easy before when you came along. I'm sure there were some tough games along the way, but it's a long winning run, and I think in some ways it's kind of stopped her progressing, because we've seen when she's gone and played in the men's events what a good player she is, just full stop, not just a good lady player. Absolutely.
I was looking at the head-to-head between the two of them this morning, and there's a lot of close matches in there. Recently played here last year, and it was 4-1 to On Yi, but in Singapore World Championship, that was a decider, 5-4 to On Yi, 4-3 to Reanne last year at the UK Women's Championship, 6-4 at the World Championship 2016. So it's not a lot to separate them.
Good shot there from On Yi. That's one of the better ones so far. All the applause you can hear. Of course, it is the quarter-final session for the men's event also, and we concentrate there on this. It's the final. I was actually looking through the records of previous lady world champions, because we go right back. Certainly the one I remember most is actually Mandy Fisher winning it in 1984 when she came through. First of the three Fishers who became champions. She's still involved, and she's here now, isn't she? She's here in Firth now.
Yeah, she's here watching. I'm not sure if we've seen her on the stream yet. But she's,
no, I haven't seen her.
Yeah, I think she's down the side, but she'll be doing the presentation later.
Only
she's still president of World Ladies Billiards and Snooker, and does a brilliant job for us.
And of course, the other two Fishers, Alison Fisher, who was an exceptionally good player, and Kelly as well. Kelly Fisher, who I think might have been over in Ahmedabad last week playing in the Q-Slam event, a new event, which is a mixed tournament, various different forms of the game being played. She's doing well still, and of course, her and Alison play pool in the States, or they certainly have done for a number of years. Their sort of technical abilities help them there, so they're not involved in the ladies snooker game anymore. I must say, as you watch On Yi play this shot, see the shot first of all. Yeah, very well played. But I do wonder occasionally what they would be like if they went back to snooker, those two.
Yeah, again, I was in Poland recently for the World Games, and Kelly was there. She was playing in the 9-ball pool event. We were trying to tempt her back. Hopefully one day she will do that, but I didn't see her play myself. I remember her vaguely. She used to play at the Crucible when we had the World Ladies Championship, the latter stages. Played at the home of snooker. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how she would do.
Yeah, it's an unanswerable question, really, isn't it, as to how they would do. But I do know that Alison was a good player as well, and people assume that the standard now is better than ever. I'd say Reanne is probably the best lady player there's ever been. Personally, that's my own view. Some might agree. Alison was very good, but as we see, that's what she does occasionally. Now she's obviously not pleased with the cue ball, but She likes to get a few points on the ball, whichever way she can. She's not played there in any
7.
way to get on a red. And I think that, just as an onlooker, I felt that that might just kind of frustrate Reanne with that sort of style of play. I think she's very capable of doing that.
Certainly last night in the semi-finals, Reanne found herself playing Rebecca Kenner. She's a relatively new player to the circuit. She's joined us 18 months or so ago, but she's made a real impression. She actually beat Reanne earlier on in the season, in one of the, well, earlier on in the year, I should say, sorry, in one of our tournaments. And early on, I thought she played with a lot of discipline,
7.
and perhaps that got to Reanne, but Reanne obviously has got so much experience. She knew what she was doing, and even from 2-0 down, she didn't panic when she came back, and ran out a comfortable 4-2 winner in the end.
She could have lost the third frame. That was, I actually went in and watched the third frame, and Rebecca certainly had a chance there to win that. 3-0 could have been a different story. You said one of the earlier events in the season, Matt. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't follow it on a week-by-week basis, but I mean, how many events have there been in this last year or so, aside from the World Championships?
Yeah, so we started with the Eden Masters back in January, which Reanne won, defeated Sir Manyan, who was in the semi-finals yesterday.
Where was that played?
That was in Derby, Q-Ball Club. And then we had the Konigoff Trophy, which was won by Maria Catalano. That was where Rebecca Kenner beat Reanne in the semi-finals, but lost to Maria in the semis, in the final. Then we went to Singapore, fantastic trip, never been there before that, very hot. And Onyi came on top against Reanne in a fantastic semi-finals, 5-4, but Onyi made a break of 60, came back and won it on the pink, I believe it was, before going on to win the final against Vidya Pillai from India. We headed to Leeds after that. We had Festival of Snooker, 6 red, 10 red World Championships, and then that was the end of the season. So this is the first event of the World Women's Snooker Tour 2017-18.
Just queuing down on this shot. Who probably screw back for the black into the same pocket, I would think, if she's straight enough on it. Yeah, she's got to get some of those. That's what I was saying before you sat down in the commentary position. Matt, she was missing a number of those shots, and she's not really settled in yet. And in the best of 7, she's going to have to start doing something soon. She's not over the line in this frame by any means. I think if she was to go on and lose this frame, that might be the end of the match, because I don't see her playing well enough to get back into it. So she desperately needs this third frame.
I would tend to agree. As I say, she does. Saying that, Reanne is the next red. But as I say, she does tend to come back from behind. I would still not count her out against Michael Judd recently. She was 2-0 down in the best of 5, very nearly won it. But as you say, 3-0 down against one of Reanne's class. It's a full struggle, I would say.
Yes, you can hear the applause from the other tables. Of course, Reanne made it through to the latter stages, or the last 1-2-8 of the Paul Huddle Classic, which is ongoing. Of course, prizes of all the leading male players on the tour, open to anyone. And she got through. She won 3 matches earlier in the week. She's been over here for a while now. So there's another one goes astray. She actually was beaten quite heavily by Xiao Jin Tong, who was knocked out this morning by Sean Murphy. So if you're not following Lady Snooker, you'll realise that lady players, the best lady players, can compete on a footing with most of the male players. I'm not saying they beat them very often, but they can compete.
Yes, I was actually on the same flight as Reanne on Tuesday ahead of the first match, and she had 3 good wins in the amateur rounds. Obviously, going the biggest one of all recently this year for her was against Robin Hull back at the World Championship, the World Professional Championship qualifiers back in April. It feels like a long time ago now, but I was there for that match, and she fully deserved it. Robin is a fantastic player, top 64 player, but in the last half of the match, Reanne very much looked the stronger. She grew into the match, and she fully deserved the win.
No, I mentioned that early on, that match, and the other one that sticks in my mind is when she was beaten narrowly by Ken Doherty in the World Championships a couple of years before, and really Ken was on more than on the ropes in that match. So she's a very good player. Interestingly, Onyi has never had any success at all when she's played in that round Peter Lyne's been her heavily, as I remember. So I think in that regard, that's why I think that just on scoring ability, then Reanne is a better player.
I would say that would appear to be the difference, although saying that, Reanne's missed
Are you
a black.
nervous?
Yeah, when they meet each other, it's not like that. As I say, it's a clash of styles. And I'm just making a point that she seems to be able to compete better against the men players. And that win against Robin Hull, who is an outstanding player, was worthy of a little place in the newspapers, which of course it made in many of those.
Absolutely. She was unlucky as well against Lee Walker in the next round. She fell behind quite heavily earlier on, but she definitely grew in strength as the match went on, but just ran out of frames, I think.
Yeah, I watched the last session of that because I was heading down for Judgment Day, the couple of days for the final qualifiers, and I was watching some of that. Yes, I saw towards the end she did run out of steam a little bit, and she was playing a slow player. Lee Walker, a good player, but he's not the quickest around. And, at the moment, Onyi is not scoring, I'm afraid. She may well go on and win this frame, but she isn't scoring, and that is a fact.
Absolutely. She needs to start making winning frames, if not in one visit, in 2 or 3, but at the moment she's needing a lot more, isn't she? Rianne's not punishing her though, is she?
Not now, no. She's beginning to struggle herself, and so the game's starting to slow down a little bit now.
Next up for the winner of this tournament, we have the Ladies UK Championship back in Leeds next month. So we're all looking forward to that. 30th of September to the 1st of October. Entry pack's just come out, so any female players watching want to give it a go, compete against the best. Players of all standard, ability, age is welcome. Really growing and doing well at the moment, so we look forward to seeing people there. Did you compete against too many women players when you were on the tour?
I lost to Alison Fisher once in the league. The old match from league, yeah, she beat me in that, which was not a fluke either, by the way. It was thoroughly deserved. It was the right result. She actually got some good results that year. She beat Mike Hallett, she beat Tony Drago, and she drew with Jimmy White that year. And I think I might have been the first one that she beat, and of course I was delighted when she beat Mike Hallett for
8.
the main reason being that I wasn't the only one who'd lost to her. I thought it was funny as well, but yes, Alison was a good player. And she played snooker in the proper way, like Reanne.
9.
And they used to practice quite a bit with Stacey Hilliard. I would say quite a bit, would be inaccurate. She used to come along from her base to practice in West London, where I practice. I used to have a game with her quite a bit. And Kelly Fisher came to London a couple of times, and we went and practiced in a few different venues in the
16.
southeast for a period of time. So we've had some dealings with the lady players. That's a very good shot, isn't it? So she's in the frame again now. There's an argument here that she might not want to play this black. Onyi, I think, would probably pop the black and run up the table and get the points. But to me, the shot here is to put the brown into play and snooker behind the yellow and green. And I think that Reanne will play that shot, and that's because I think she plays the game in the classical way. I'm not saying it will win in the frame, but to me, the shot she's played there, even though she hasn't got the snooker,
17.
that's the correct shot. And that's why she's so effective a player. She's well back in the frame now. The other thing that I thought, Matt, which I was reminded about when I looked the other day, checked through it, or one of the big opportunity missed was when Reanne qualified for Wuxi in 2013. She could have really done a lot for the women's game, but in the moment, listen, I understand that there are no, it's a fairly random thing, but I think she had to play a wild card. I think that might have been because of her ranking or lack of it in those days. Now I think it's more random who draws the wild cards, but she had to play a wild card as opposed to being put in the draw proper, like so many before who have qualified, thinking they've qualified for the final stage of an overseas event. When they get there, or leading up to it, they find out they've got to play a wild card, and she played a wild card, which is no one likes doing. She lost, and I think that was a big opportunity missed there for her to play, in the main event. I mean, she did, but the wild card round's not the round you want to lose in.
Yes, it was definitely unfortunate. She had a really good win against Techchaya Undu, who since then with 147 here last year, didn't he? So we've gone on to see what he can do. And yeah, it's the selection. She was one of the lower ranked qualifiers, so it was unfortunate that she got the wild card.
It was a poor miss. I think Onyi might have been trying to screw the ground out into play. Yeah, it was an awkward situation. I'm not criticising anybody, but there's enough disdain about the wild card round as it is for players, coming through and having to play a wild card round against players that haven't qualified. Usually very good players who playing in their own backyard. We know that it's all about the growth of the game and it's working in China, but I know a lot of people that don't agree with them, and there was an instance where it served no purpose but for snooker to miss an opportunity. But there you are, that's done now. It's turning into a very important frame, especially for Onyi. She doesn't win it. She's been in front for most of it, and it's going to be hard for her to come and win the remaining 4 frames.
Yes, and just to come back to the discussion about the wildcard round, there has actually been a change this year. The wildcard, they don't play in a separate round against players who have already qualified anymore. They come in straight at the last 1 to 8 stage of events. It's a little bit different. They're not an extra barrier between players who won a match at a qualifying venue, gone to the main venue, and then having to play an extra round. They're coming straight in at the 1 to 8. We've seen that in Riga. In China, so hopefully that system works a little bit better. Seems a little bit fairer to me.
Well, definitely, completely agree. By the way, we are concentrating on the ladies' final. Just to let you know that Sean Murphy just won 4-2 against Ben Wollaston, clearing up from behind. So he's into the semi-finals. He'll be in action again later on. And as far as the other players coming through, I think that's all still in the balance. I'll have a quick glance, but as I say, this is what we're concentrating on, but I'd like to update you all the same. And Jamie Jones 3-2 up on Gary Wilson. That's at the end of a frame there, so 3-2 Jamie Jones. 3-1 Michael White over Ian Burns, and Michael White 36-0 in front in the next. So it could be Michael White, who of course beat Selby earlier on. Mark Selby, the world champion and defending Paul Hunter Classic champion. And the other match is only 1-1, Mitchell Mann and Mark Joyce. They're a bit off the pace, those two, but Sean Murphy, the first man through. It's all about the green ball here. 6 points in it is next to nothing. And whoever gets first good safety in on the green might fancy winning the frame. Of course, there's always a chance he might get the green into play, but I think that's less likely than anything else. It's a big frame of snooker, this, and Reanne does not want that one back. That looks to be a full ball snooker. Might just be a little bit sticking out, but it's not straightforward to hit. So let's see how she gets on with this. She's playing up and down. It's close to the pot here. Goodness me.
Couldn't make it up.
No, strangely enough, it might cost her because she's got the safety shot on the green that she didn't particularly want. It's one of those that not sure to be in her favour. Let's see what happens here. Well, that was my point. I mean, as it happens, she's got lucky again.
Only 2.
Because she could have easily stuck that green. In which case the fluke would have gone against her, but it hasn't.
Takes me back to Singapore. You may remember, some of our viewers may remember watching the World Women's Championship final when she played against Vidya Pillai, down to pink and black, wedged in one of the corner pockets. It was a very bizarre end to the match, wasn't it, Neil?
Yeah, and there was a strange end, wasn't there, with Pillai? Didn't she do something strange like miscue, or there was an odd incident at the end of the match? I'd watched it at the end of that match. I was watching a long time because it did take a long time to finish, but something happened. Did she miscue or something happened?
Yes, it was a free ball, and I think I believe she dominated the black, miscued, hit pink, and then that was her last shot, wasn't it? Only potted the pink to the middle pocket to capture the title. But it was one of the most bizarre finishes to a match I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, it would be. That's not how they normally end. So, like I said earlier, this really feels a hugely important frame, probably the most important frame of the tournament so far. I know that the brown's gone safe, but it doesn't make a lot of difference because both players still need that. Now, this is in the lap of the gods where the balls finish here. Well, she may have a shot to cut the green into the middle and come around the table for the brown, but I don't know if you particularly want to be on the brown. Well, easy down that cushion rail. Let's see what she can do here. Oh, she's missed it anyway.
I'm aware that Onyi has received a lot of coaching from the Hong Kong Sports Institute from David Rowe. Is he a player that you came across too many times during your playing career, Neil?
Yeah, I know David. Yeah, Rowe, he may well be tuning into this. I guess, would he be?
I would imagine so, yes.
Send my regards to him. He's a bit of a nuisance on Twitter, actually, these days. A bit argumentative, but no, I know Rowe very well. He's a really good player, actually, a good guy who, well, I would have. He's younger than me, but I saw a lot of him in his junior days, and we played a lot on the tour. He still ribs me about the time he beat me here in Germany, actually, in Frankfurt, one of the first times we played here. He was very lucky that day, especially if he's listening. Anyway, that was a good pot, and there's 8 points, in fact 12 points in this game in favour of Onyi. She's got a good chance of getting the snooker behind the blue and pink. It's a big target, and this is a gap. She's found it. But the fact that she's recovered, I still think is a... Reanne will fancy pinching this frame the way the match has gone so far. She needs all of the balls. He needs 2 of them. She tried for the big target snooker again, but this time it's gone wrong. It's not a particularly good shot. Someone sent me a message earlier on saying, why has Onyi got tape on her cue? I have absolutely no idea. It might be on at the butt end of the cue where she would hold the cue to be in line with the tape, so she's holding it at the right distance or something. But the definitive answer, I don't know. Snooker herself.
seem to recall Graham Dott doing something similar with tape on his cue during his run to the world title back in 2006. Can't believe it's 11 years ago now.
Well, we've all put tape on our cue. We've all done a lot of things, I can tell you that. Anything that you think might help you pop balls, you would try as a player. There's a tiny bit of this blue sticking out, but I think Reanne is a bit concerned because she's got not huge control over the shot. If she chips it thin, well, they will all finish. She's actually gone for the pot there. That would have been the pot of the tournament by some margin. That was
4.
highly ambitious. 7 the difference, so still on you needing 2 balls here. Here's a chance though. This for the frame. And she pots the pink, so she's scrambled over the line a bit there on Yi. She picks up the frame, and what was 2-0 has now become 2-1. Reanne Evans still in front in this best of 7 frame final. When he left the arena, this opportunity, if you did want to ask myself or Matt about anything, you can feel free to send me a tweet, or of course Matt. But as far as mine, Fouldsy147, Fouldsy147. If you want to ask anything about this ladies' game or who you think will win, whatever, Matt, yours is
at Pro Snooker Blog, or you can get us on our ladies' Twitter account at WLBS Official. Any queries about entry, how you want to get, if you're thinking of getting involved, anything you'd like to know, feel free to get in touch.
Frame 4, Reanne Evans to break.
frame 4 underway. Reanne Evans 2, on Yi 1, and first to 4. Hunter Ladies Classic. She needs a good kiss here. She deserves one. It's a very good shot. Finish on the black into the same pocket.
I have seen a lot of On Yi play during the last 18 months or so, and I have to say it's it's something we've seen before. She can struggle early on. She can really look out of sorts, and then by the end of the match can look a different player. And it seems that something similar could happen
8.
again here today. It's almost become a bit of a running joke on the ladies' tour. You don't want to get too big a lead against her. She seems to.
Oh.
It's unlucky though.
Well, it is very unlucky actually, especially with the red ending up
4.
in the other end of the table. Yeah, I know. There used to be, there was a snooker player like that many years ago, who actually won a ranking tournament, who was well known for coming back from behind. If you, in the best of 9, if you let him 3-0, even 4-0,
1.
he almost didn't start playing until then, and that was a fellow called Tony Jones, who won the European Open once. A good player, and it sticks in my mind that he was always known for his ability to make comebacks. He was asleep for the first part of a match, so I guess that would be the nearest thing I can think of. You know, he was terribly lacked in concentration, but when he got it the bit between his teeth, he could come back from anywhere to win matches. Not heard of him for a while. I don't think he's involved in snooker in any way these days. But it's not a good habit to be in, because it means your concentration is not good at the start of a match. Actually, proves you've got fighting qualities, but you know, it's never going to be enough on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, that piece of bad luck earlier has not cost her that many, because the little cannon on the black went wrong. Reanne will be playing safe.
Reanne Evans, 5.
I think I'd have been very reluctant if I was Reanne Evans to play that shot and put the black safe. If I was in her corner, and I'm not, but if I was, I would be saying that playing on Yi, I would be looking to keep the balls in orthodox positions, because, as I say, when it comes to a scoring match, then she's the better player. And I wouldn't be putting the black safe. But there you are. It's not, it's just an observation.
There's often a lot said, Neil, isn't there, about the can women compete against the men? That sort of debate that we have, but there's really no reason why they can't, is there?
No, certainly not physically. No, absolutely not. And you know, as we say, we've seen that some women can. Reanne certainly can. Alison Fisher could. Ornier, I've yet to be convinced that she has the ability, despite her being world champion. I must keep on saying that she is the world champion. There have been one or two others. You know, Karen Kaur was a good player. She beat male players along the way. And of course, Kelly was able to do so, Kelly Fisher. But I don't think it's not so much anything. There's no other reason other than that not that many women players playing the game. I think it's what it is. There's no other reason I can think of.
One. Rainbow. Only 1.
turn into one of those frames where all the reds end up at the other end of the table. So you feel that O'Neill's gradually clawing away back into this match, sort of blunting Reanne Evans' strongest suit, which is her scoring. Just to say, we actually know a couple of the semi-finalists of the 400 Classic. Sean Murphy beat Ben Willison. He awaits the win of Jamie Jones and Gary Wilson. Jamie Jones leading that match 3-2. Michael White is through, and he awaits the win of Mitchell Mann and Mark Joyce. I saw those two lads actually checking out of my hotel this morning. I think it's with a view to not... With a view to, should they have been knocked out, to get the flight back. I don't think it's anything to do with the hotel, although I have stayed in better, but that's another story. Michael White is through. They could meet in the final anyway, which would be, I'm sure they'd enjoy that. I think they've been shown a room. So good luck to those, still going strong. As Michael White beat the world champion earlier. Anyway, that had to go in. Now that it hasn't, it's giving Reanne an opportunity here. She can get this red away from all the other reds and up onto a colour that is half a chance to score a few.
One.
I think that one aspect of this tournament that we've really enjoyed on the women's side is that we've had a lot of the younger players come over from England and further afield, but a lot of 14, 15-year-olds who are experienced in their first overseas tournament. And it's good that it's run alongside the professional event. They've been able to mix with professionals, interact with them for the first time. How did you find that when you were a young aspiring snooker player and you were around these circles for the first time, Neil?
It's a long time ago, mate. Everything was in black and white then. It takes a while to get into it, doesn't it? To feel a part of it all. That's the thing, you know, you first there, and some of the guys that are walking around at these venues would have been people that I'd have looked up to as a junior player. So that you've got to get over that. You've got to stop thinking about the people you're playing and the company you're in. But with a few results, you realise people are taking notice of you, I think. When that happens, then you know you're halfway there. So
One.
didn't have an opportunity to take the break any further, but I think again, good idea to get the blue out into the middle of the table. If a chance came, it would be an important scoring ball. Definitely a chance, but chance squandered. And Onyi with their own opportunity now.
One.
Can be a bit of a cliche, can't it? But there does seem to have been a shift during the last half an hour in the momentum in this match.
Yes, but it's not that Onyi scoring. She's just kind of turned it a little bit more tactical than it was at the beginning. At the beginning of the match, Reanne just looked like she looked great actually. The 59 break, I didn't at any point think she was going to miss. And I was surprised when that eventually happened. I thought she was going to make a 100 break.
6.
But, say the match is worn on and it's slightly different now, as you point out. Played that well. In fact, that's perfectly judged. Around 2 cushions, and I think you're right. I think certainly the match is starting to change a little now, but she'll only really start to hurt Reanne if here she goes on and makes a few. I think all the safety in the world is good, but as I say, it's only the real pain is when your opponent makes you sit down in that chair and you watch them score.
Quite a unique sport, isn't it, snooker? It's not like football where you can put a tackle in, or tennis where you can hit a different shot. You've just got to sit and suffer almost.
Well, that's it. That's why no matter who's sitting in the chair, it shouldn't make any difference. But sometimes if it is the world champion, then psychologically it's more difficult to pot the balls, even though there's nothing he or she can do.
Two.
Struggled its way in.
23.
Said a tweet from Gabrielle Tomasi, who has asked me what are the highest Onyi and Reanne's breaks in competition. I know Reanne's made a 140 break, hasn't she? I don't know about Onyi.
I'm not sure of the exact figure. She made the highest break here in Germany last year, at last year's Poland's Classic, which was a century. But I'm sure it's very high.
Yeah. Well, I must say, if she, a century is a century, and these are difficult tables as well. The stars, whether that was in this phase or not, but she's an exceptionally good player. But she's a bit rattled today, and she's definitely missing more balls than I've seen her. I don't watch her play all the time, but I have seen her a few times, and she's usually very solid. got a lead now of 28 points over Reanne Evans at the table. It's very difficult to see how she could win the frame from here. In fact, I'd say it's nigh impossible when the ball's off. Yes, again, the women's game is rebuilding, I think. Obviously, 2004 there wasn't even a ladies' event, which told you that the game was not doing very well. It'd be nice to think that it become a little bit more of a global game. I don't know what you think. I mean, women's sport is being encouraged and being better received now worldwide than ever.
Absolutely. Last year as well, we've made some really significant steps. Before this tournament last year, I think it had been over a decade before the previous WLBS overseas events. Since then, we've been to Germany twice, and of course Singapore for the World Championship, the big one back in March. So we're definitely moving in the right direction, and still work to do. But hopefully, over the coming months and years, we'll start to see more tournaments outside of the UK. Hong Kong in particular, 4 of the 8 quarter-finalists involved in this competition were from the Hong Kong Sports Institute, so they've played not just Dong Yi, but some of the other players have played a significant part in the tour. We also had a player from Latvia who I believe drove 1,600 kilometres to get here for the tournament. Incredible commitment.
That's a good shot. It's a snooker. It wouldn't be that difficult to hit, safe to say. Swerve, right hand side. Needs a bit of cover, bolt colour in the way she'd like. I think she's got some. Well, she could get through. She needs red. She needs colour and another red. Well, she's not going to get back into the frame, missing those. I felt that if she could get a couple of red and colours there, she was right back into it. At the moment, it's kind of, she's definitely been blunted, Reanne. It's kind of what you said, Matt. You said this would go this way.
Yes, you never know, but it's something that we've seen so often during the past couple of years, and like you said, you made the comparison to Selby earlier on, and it's a little bit different, but still valid nonetheless. And it's not the biggest surprise to say that, but that's a good shot from Reanne.
It is a good shot. And I'd say this is a horrible snooker to hit. Very difficult, so this could be another turning point. How do you hit this?
Foul. Nice. Reanne Evans 4.
See, if that's to me, it's a harsh call of miss. I have to say, because that was a great effort. I'm not only speaking about in the ladies' game. To me, that's not a miss. Whoever's behind the cue, stick Angles McManus in behind there if you want to. And I think that is a great effort. And this could potentially go back quite a few times. She got close enough on the first effort to make me think that she's going to hit it soon, but that was a horrible snooker she was in. She missed it by, well, half a ball's width. Don't think it's a miss personally. Now she's found the new angle here. And she's much further away this time.
Foul. No miss.
If I was
Reanne Evans 4.
Reanne, I would not be coming back to the table anytime soon. You could keep putting that back behind there all day. Even if it's a free ball, I would not be moving.
Slightly surprised, Neil, that she didn't try the first attempt again.
She got very close to it first time. And then she decided to go a different way, which I don't think is even on this way. This is a difficult snooker. I think you're right. I don't know why you'd change the first go. I think if you miss one by as far as she did, i.e. nothing, then if you're going to have it put back, surely you play the same way again, because she had a good line. But now she's played a shot in between, so even her memory of the line that she had the first time has been changed by the fact that in between she went a different way. So I think you're absolutely right. She should have gone the same way again, because she missed it by just a few millimetres. This is difficult to hit. It's always going to swing wide.
Foul. No miss.
And
Reanne Evans 4.
Reanne Evans, unless she's got the simplest of shots, I would not be moving here. It's possible you could miss this 10 times. Any player could miss this 10 times. It's one of those. She's missed 3 times so far, so that's 12 points. And she gets a tendency to swing this to the left of the red as we look. Well, she's hit it, and that's good. I'm pleased, because I really wanted to see the frame one on that. It's a difficult snooker she was put in there. Very nearly hit the green on the way through to it, actually. He's going to get some more practice out of snookers now with this one. It's not as difficult. Very nice. Difficult frame to win in one visit, that's for certain. Even yellow to green's tough where the balls are. Yellow down the cushion, not easy.
Four.
Did you like these close, scrappy frames, Neil, or were you someone who liked to get in and get scoring amongst the reds?
I don't think anyone particularly likes them. Some are more tolerant of them than others. So the answer is no, not really.
Reanne Evans, 4.
Now it's interesting to know if this yellow passes the green. Passes the brown rather. No, I was never a fan. In it
2.
on the green, which is always a bit of a misleading one, because if you 10 in front on the green, you still need 3 balls, your opponent only needs 4. So it's not as big a lead as what you think. Goodness me.
5.
That is an outrageous fluke. But she still needs the blue. Dropped in the middle, dead weight.
Only 5.
Missing enough balls today on Yi. More so than usual, I would say. That's a good shot. She can pot the green, pot the blue and get across for the pink here. And she's playing it left-handed. She's got a really good chance putting the pink down the cushion, so it's a good chance now. Well,
Reanne Evans, 4.
Known in the trade as the commentator's curse, I believe, Neil.
yeah, wasn't an easy shot. It's hard to get a snooker with the pink and black left. You've got one good chance, really. Your opponent will always drop it over the pocket.
Of course, one memorable such incident last season was Barry Hawkins and Mark King in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, great final that was. Somehow got a feel. I think Mark King didn't actually end up winning that frame. There was a long frame, which I don't think he ended up winning.
It's the second to last frame of the match, wasn't it? It took
Yeah.
to the decider.
And they played on the pink and black for an age, didn't they? Half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that.
I recall another match from last season. Ken Doherty won, needed 2 snookers on the pink, got them, lost on the black. That was frustrating.
When you're just trying to drop this over the pocket. Well, that was a good effort. And it's actually a snooker. Wow, goodness me, what a turnaround here.
Reanne was 6.
What a turnaround. Well, you get one good chance on the pink and black to get a snooker, and the black was not in a very promising place, and that is a huge change in the match. Still got to pot the black, but a frame that she was never ever going to win on the pink and black for me, and now she's got a chance to do so. Wow, it's almost undescribable how that match ended. That frame even. Goodness me, she's missed it and fluked it. Onyi must be absolutely sick to have lost a frame like that. Just when you think you've seen it all in snooker, something like that takes place.
We were talking about bizarre finishes to frames earlier. There's another one for sure.
So 3-1 from nowhere. That is a big turnaround in the game. Frame Onyi was looking like she was going to win the whole way through. Apparently Mandy Fisher is just in shot on the left.
Thank you. Frame 5. Only to break.
So that was a bit of a dramatic end to the previous frame. And all of a sudden, it's 3-1 Reanne, and that was, she wanted a snooker on the pink and black. She got one where the black was not even in a good position to get one. Onyi missed it, winning off. And then the final twist was an extraordinary end, really, where Reanne missed the black into the green pocket and fluked it. And to be honest, it was always in. You knew it was going to drop in.
1.
Instead a message actually from Alison Fisher, who's watching apparently. I think it's really her. I did ask her a question that would have proved it was her. She couldn't answer it, but I believe it's her.
4.
If it is you, Alison, I think it is. Great to hear from you. I hope you're doing well in the States. And
5.
as I say, Reanne is a fine snooker player by any standard. I think Alison and Reanne would have been a terrific game of snooker. I know Alison now plays pool, and she's made a huge success of it. But to me, these are the two standalone players. I've got nothing against Onyi. She's very good. She's very, very skillful. But they both play snooker.
12.
And, you know, like a male snooker player. You know, if I said that in the right possible way, I don't mean that in a patronising or chauvinistic way at all. They just play the game the same way that male players do on the tour. Unfortunately, these pockets are tight on these tables, and that might be the reason why Reanne missed that. But, yeah, my best wishes to Alison, all the other lady players. I see Mandy Fisher is here, no relation. Good to see her here. I've been sort of this ladies' game for a number of years. There's always there's been a mix between the two. In that, say, a lot of the lady players used to practice with men players. Alison herself, I think she probably spent a bit of time practicing with Steve. She was coached by the great Frank Callan, who passed away a couple of years ago. I think he helped her a lot with her game. He's a tremendously clever man, Frank was, much missed. Onyi's only going to win this match in one way, and that'll be by scoring a bit more heavily. So she hasn't really made any sizable breaks in this match at all. Good shot.
1.
You just get the feeling, don't you, Neil, that the balls are just where Reanne wants them at the moment.
Yeah, I think the last frame has changed everything, to be honest with you. Everything has changed now. Played that well also. There were a couple of reds I think that are available. Yeah, just briefly mentioned Frank Callan there, and you know he helped a lot of players,
16.
male and female, and it was always fun knowing Frank. There's only one way to do everything, and that was his way. You know, he wasn't he wasn't the easiest
17.
to communicate with, because if he didn't understand what he was saying, he would invariably just roll his eyes and try and say it again and just say it a little slower. He was a great man. There's a lot of the snooker players, if I look at someone like Anthony Hamilton, I just think that his cue action is his Frank Callan cue action, and certainly in the case of Alison Fisher, he helped her in the same way.
23.
In the meantime, this is a really good effort from Reanne, because she got in early here, and if this red goes to the middle, she might have a way of getting on the black from this. Just a touch of right hand side. Oh, unlucky. She actually played to get on the pink. I thought she might play a tiny bit slower there.
23.
She played on the black. I think she'd have got that, but she just gave it a little bit more force. And if that first red goes, it gives her a little opportunity here. Well done.
1.
I do get the feeling that she really needs to take it now, though.
Yeah, if the red by the pink is potable, if she can get on that one, then it would open things up a little bit. Not sure where the black will go, actually, whether it goes up onto the pink spot. Can't quite see from here, but depending on the next couple of shots, it gives her a good opportunity. This, like you say, it's now or never.
Of course, regardless of the result today, they'll stay ranked number 1 and 2 in the world. Points going on, same as the professional tour. Operate a 2-year rolling ranking system. Reanne's got a little bit of a lead at the moment.
And I bet they're quite a way ahead of all the others, are they?
Yeah, there's a fair gap to Maria Catalano in third place. Got the likes of Laura Evans, who's practiced with Michael White, Jamie Jones before from Neath in fourth.
Laura Evans, was she here this week?
She wasn't here, she was at the Q-Slam event.
That's right, I thought I saw her name there. Well, this is a chance. She has moved that red. The only thing was the black, unfortunately, didn't go onto the pink spot, which meant it had to go on its own, behind its own spot, which is never much fun. It means the pink's not available.
Black ball.
If it's been spotted correctly, the pink won't go into either corner. So if she's playing the black, it's a slightly more difficult shot than the pink would be. Yeah. You know, I'm not that surprised. She really wanted the black to go on the pink spot. She didn't really want it to go back on in behind its own spot. The pink spot wasn't free. And in all honesty, she could have looked at that when she potted the black last time, because that's actually an important decision. It wasn't necessarily bad luck that it went there. Either did or it didn't. But there are occasions when you look at the spot and you don't know if it's covered entirely or not. It's only when the referee puts the ball marker on that you really know for sure.
8.
And it could be very costly now. Reanne very well placed in amongst the reds.
Yeah, and she's played up on the blue, which is not a bad
9.
idea. And not finished quite top side, but she's got a red not far away from the blue, so she can continue the break in this way. She should be thinking about the winning line here in a positive way. Because she can finish the match off quite abruptly, quite swiftly. Well, that's a good shot, although if she could have got top side of the blue, really she'd have had a considerably easier shot here. She may be able to get to the right-hand red. She hasn't let the cue ball run through all that far, so she's not blocked off by the other three. And this is a healthy lead now, 38 points. And she's got the ability to play left-handed. She's excellent left-handed. She missed one earlier, but she's a good player with her opposite hand. That's a real talent. Just look at the way she's played that. It's a beautiful shot to play with your wrong hand, isn't it? She's perfectly in behind this blue. I just wonder if the top red goes here. If not, she can always go into the 3. The red might go to the middle pocket as well, and that might be the other option. It is. And she's on the brink. And she must get a lot of satisfaction if she can win this match, because no getting away from it. Onyi has caused her problems in the last few years. Only here last year, but won 2 of the last 3 world titles. I bet she thought that title was hers forever until Onyi came along. Okay, she had that huge stroke of luck in the previous frame. That shouldn't be forgotten, but all that said,
27.
Onyi needing a snooker. If it is to go to Reanne Evans, she's been the better player. I don't think Onyi would blame bad luck on that, apart from that one cruel fluke on the final black in the previous frame. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Alison Fisher's even been watching it. One of the legends of women's cue sports. So that's good. She said that she misses snooker when she watches it still, which is quite good, isn't it? That's what she grew up on. Well, Onyi might well play on, but if this red goes in, even she will give up. Well done to Reanne Evans.
4.
In my opinion, still the best player around. Her results, as I say, over the years have said that, but Onyi's been a real thorn in her side. But today she's outplayed her, and she's going to go on and become champion. Worthy winner, I would say, Matt.
Absolutely, yes. And as you say, I didn't see the start of the
9.
match, but from what I've seen, she looked very much in control. Onyi did come back into the match, but that 4th race was always the big turning point.
It was, and she started the match very well. At the start, she made that 59 break, and it looked like she was going to go on and make a century, and it was surprising to me when she did miss. And what we're seeing is what she's capable of, because she's a really nice player. She can compete with the men, which is a sign of how good she is. Beat Robin Hull in the World Championships, should have beaten Ken Darty. And this is her at her absolute best, and I think she only tenses up a little bit because of the pressure she clearly feels playing other lady players. So well done to Reanne Evans, champion for 2017, finishing off now.
9.
And it's another title. And well done, thoroughly deserved. Onyi, courteous in defeat, warm handshake, Reanne Evans. the Bull Hunter Ladies Classic winner for 2017 with a 4-1 victory over her biggest rival and world champion, Orny of Hong Kong. That's Reanne Evans, the champ. So that's that done. We'll actually be back with the semi-finals quite soon. I can tell you that on the main table, it's Sean Murphy and Jamie Jones. They've had a few battles, and Jamie Jones has got a few wins over Murphy. At the moment, we're not entirely sure who is in the other semi-final. Mark Joyce is 3-2 up over Mitchell Mann.
We should go to the office.
I've forgotten another player is still in the tournament, actually. Having watched the ladies' game. Anyway, play will resume at, I think, in about 10 minutes' time.
Don't know.
The presentation of the winner?
I don't know what to do.
Okay. Thank you.
There's difference of 30 euros. You sure? And then I mail you all the proofs?
You can't do them now, can you?
No, it's home. You can do it tomorrow. Yeah, but if it's paid next month, it doesn't matter.
No, but I'm seeing them on Tuesday. I'm seeing them on iPad. I'll go off down Tuesdays and don't matter. I'll just do what I want to.
I can send it Monday when I arrive home. Straight away.
Don't send them to me. Send them to Natasha.
Thanks. Straight away. Send.
Oh, just give it to the guys over on the desk over there. It's their microphone.